Welcome to the launch of the strategy of the Global Mental Health Action Network. I'm Antonis Kousoulis. I'm Director of Partnerships and Secretariat Lead for the network.
And I'm Divya Sharma, the Global Mental Health Action Network Officer.
It's lovely to be able to reach that stage of actually launching our collective strategy. We've been working on this for a long time, and many of you, as our members, I know as well, have been contributing to that for a long time. We see mental health collectively as perhaps the most important health challenge of our generation. And we know that there is a lot that needs to be done. We know that progress is possible, but it is not inevitable. And this is why advocacy is so important, because if we connect our voices into our global community and fight for the cause of mental health, there is so much that we can achieve, and there's so much progress that we can make. The Global Mental Health Action Network is a structure that exists in direct response to a big gap that existed in the world, which is a structure that supports advocates, activists, people with lived experience from around the world to have their voices enhanced and strengthened and integrated towards the biggest challenges around mental health. Just a few years ago, the former Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations said that we do need initiatives led by local campaigners that draw on the demands of their communities rather than external finger wagging. And this is what we're trying to do with this strategy. This is an important and defining moment for us, and we want to shape a strategy that is all about developing the world's capacity to advocate for better mental health for all.
So, the Global Mental Health Action Network is the world's leading network for mental health advocacy. At the point of writing the strategy, we have over 5,300 members from 169 countries, representing more than 3,500 organizations. We started the development of this strategy with a list of 43 questions that have been answered through workshops, one-to-one conversations, and polls. We captured contributions shared during several meetings and ensured the voices from across the Action Network were informing the strategy and contributing to the direction of travel and organization of our work. All members of the Action Network were offered opportunities to contribute to the strategy development in a variety of ways, and more than 400 people from over 100 countries participated in this process. The drafts were shared with the diverse and global leadership group of the Action Network, as well as a range of expert partners, and more than 200 edits were incorporated based on their feedback.
So, in this strategy, we outline our theory of change for a new global mental health sector. But we're also looking inward into how we're going to work as a network, as an extremely diverse network of members from around the world. So, in one sentence, our theory of change is that we work with people in organizations all over the world to build community and develop capacity for mental health advocacy, to enable campaigners to advocate on a local, national, and global stage, because we envision a more equitable, decentralized, and effective global mental health sector. And what is really important for us with this strategy is reflecting what we have been hearing from hundreds of our members over conversations over a great number of months, but also in our events, at our Global Mental Health Advocacy Forum, at our webinars, how our members are really hungry, really passionate for a different global mental health future, a new sector that's more equitable, a new sector that has a fairer distribution of power and influence. So our strategy outlines the plans for the network, but it is also a vision for what perhaps the world could look like in 10 years' time, and what the global mental health sector could look like in 10 years' time. We talk a lot about developing capacity in this strategy, and I want to just briefly outline how we approach some of these core terms. So, developing capacity for us is about the process through which individuals, organizations, and societies obtain, strengthen, and maintain the capabilities to set and achieve their own objectives over time. We have consciously not used building capacity, which usually refers to building something new from the ground, um, according maybe usually to a pre-imposed design. And we're using capacity development, which is expressing an approach that builds on existing skills and knowledge. And it's about driving a dynamic and flexible process of change borne by local actors. We do see expertise as a very diverse set of experiences. We respect mental health experts coming from a variety of backgrounds. We respect local, cultural, indigenous, and lived expertise, as well as academic and technical training. So we know that our membership is extremely diverse, and we know that mental health experts come from an incredibly diverse range of backgrounds. Within that is lived experience, and lived experience, again, is a term that can be defined in a few different ways. For us, a person with lived experience is someone with experience of difficulties in maintaining their mental health or of symptoms of a psychosocial disability, however mild or severe. But I think what's important is also that we acknowledge that diagnostic systems can be limited or maybe not systematically applied around the world. And hence, within the network, we welcome as people with lived experience individuals who self report mental health challenges or experiences of trauma or inequality, inclusive of the experience of caring for loved ones experiencing a mental health challenge.
So we are framing our strategy around 4 key pillars: advocacy, belongingness, convening, and the decentralization of power. So starting with advocacy, mental health advocates are often neglected from global processes and have limited opportunities for participation in decision making. We want to ensure that there are sufficient opportunities for collective advocacy and a coordinating organization that can enable involvement in high-level events or opportunities. To do this, we will enable advocates to influence key global structures and decisions and to advocate on national and global stage for what matters locally. We will measure the commitments made by governments, international organizations, and funders to better mental health by the end of 2027. Our longer term objective for 2035 is to ensure that mental health is a key cross-cutting issue for a range of major stakeholders globally. And we hope to see 50 policy legislation program or campaign changes reported by GMHAN members in 2027. We then have B for belongingness. We know that there is no other organization providing a global membership and action platform for mental health advocates. We want to grow the field of global mental health around the world by nurturing a community of people interested in influencing better mental health. To do this, we will nurture community and provide a global home for mental health advocates and activists that are often excluded from traditional power structures. By the end of 2027, we hope to see a global mental health community and mental health champions that deliver effective advocacy through improved coordination and integrated strategies. Our longer term objective for 2035 is that diverse identities and experiences of global mental health advocates are recognized as of equal value to other professional backgrounds. And one of our core impact key performance indicators for 2027 is to have at least 12,000 GMHAN members from 170 countries and representing 6,000 organizations. We then have C for convening. We know that the global mental health sector often remains fragmented with isolated opportunities for influencing. We want to strengthen and amplify the voices of mental health advocates through providing opportunities for networking, learning, and influencing. To do this, we will use our global reach and networks to bring people and organizations together, and we support advocates to strengthen their skills, learning, and awareness. By 2027, we hope to see organizations in relevant sectors advocating for better mental health, enabled by enhanced networks and strengthened knowledge and capacity. Our longer term objective for 2035 is to see stronger amplification of the voices of mental health advocates and people with lived experience who routinely inform mental health policy and practice globally. One of our core impact key performance indicators for convening is to have at least 25,000 engagements with our activities and core content. And then our final pillar is decentralization of power. We know that the decisions, funding, power, and culture in global mental health are controlled by a very small proportion of the sector's stakeholders. We want to enable diverse leadership share power, and bring different voices of expertise and lived experience to the global stage where it matters in decision making. We want to lead by example, hold the sector to account, and champion diverse and culturally appropriate global mental health leadership. By 2027, we hope to see a range of key policy, funding, and other strategic decisions affecting mental health reflect the priorities of communities most affected and people with lived experience. Our longer term objective for 2035 is that all decision making processes that affect mental health across the policy cycle and all levels of the system include people, communities, and civil society as full participants. And our core performance indicator for this is meaningful increase in localization, which is the diverse leadership and representation in globally influential organizations and decision making processes. Here is an overview of the changes that we want to bring about and the longer term impact that we're aiming for.
So this is our vision, this is our collective objectives and passion for change in the global mental health sector. We have outlined some of the key performance indicators for us, but to start with, just to very briefly talk about some of the immediate steps we'll be taking. And they include creating communities of influence around specific events. Many of you will know that we have started working with short-term action groups, which bring together people from around the world to work together to influence key decisions, documents, or commitments at major global policy opportunities. We have one such coming up. It's the UN high-level meeting on non-communicable diseases and mental health in 2025. And as a global network, we will work hard to ensure that we can secure meaningful commitments and progress for mental health within that. We will also continue developing our membership. We want to grow its reach, as you've heard, especially in areas perhaps where we are a little bit more underrepresented, and we will be working with local and regional advocates and experts towards that. We are also supporting supporting everyone to engage with our content and each other through our online platforms, and we'll be doing as much as we can to ensure that these are accessible and they're fit for purpose for you to facilitate interaction, connection, and learning. We will continue organizing webinars, continue organizing knowledge exchange sessions, exploring various aspects and intersections of mental health, but also showcasing the transformative work being led by our membership from around the world. And lastly, we are going to be nurturing our leadership group that will bring everyone from many different backgrounds and locations who play a leadership role within the network together to collectively and inclusively shape the future of our work. So we want to both look inward and outward in terms of how we are going to influence the global mental health sector. You can now go on our website and download our strategy, our overview, our pillars, and you can also, while you're there, visit a lot of our pages. In particular, you can also visit the page where we have our member stories, where a lot of experiences and impact that is driven by our members is outlined there. Do join us. This is not a strategy that's for a small group of people. It's a strategy for our broad membership from around the world. Do bring a friend with you within our membership, and we are looking forward to interacting with you. Please send your feedback to this strategy on our email address there on the web on the slide, and also reach out through the usual channels to us to talk to us about next steps and what you're passionate about. We're looking forward to working with you, and we're looking forward to our collective impact. Thank you, and thank you for joining the launch today.